Wow, look at that. Look at that. My goodness. Well, good morning. Wow, Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for coming alive and being with us this morning. We'd like to thank all the speakers on the call. We got for Corey Alexander. Thank you so much for on the call. Wow, look at here, man. Mr. Payon out in Japan. Sir, thank you so much for giving the correcting of your name. Thank you, Mr. Payon out in Japan. And also Ms. Valinda Belize, thank you so much. Ms. Caroline Baker, part of the Baker Organization. Dave Culver, thank you so much. Mr. Gray, part of the Baker Organization. Daryl Ranson, thank you so much. Ms. Dominique Young, our school teacher up in Nashville, Tennessee. Mr. Ismail, que pasó, senor? Mr. Lance Kelly, thank you so much. Mr. Harris Mills. Oh, Regional Vice President, Ms. Jonathan Driscoll is joining us today. Whoa, 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 whoa. What a blessing, what a blessing. She will be back every Monday in the month of August. Every Monday in the month of August. Say it with me. Every Monday in the month of August. Every Monday in the month of August. There you go. All right, there we go. All right. Well, let's look here through who else I got to say. Mr. Dave Culver, thank you so much. Miss Evelyn's getting on. Oh, Natasha Ismail, another regional director. Sensational young lady. She's doing tomorrow's night's PBR. Don't forget PBZ. Miss Marcia Carter, thank you. Miss Pat Robinson in Oakland, California. Thank you so much. The Queen of V of New York, thank you for joining us. Whoa. Miss Harara. Wow, I'm sorry. Out in Japan, thank you so much for joining us. She's amazing. That lady is so amazing. Her and her husband are just lovely, lovely people. Miss Caroline Baker, thank you so much for joining. Regional Vice President, our guest speaker, I'll call him up in a second, Mr. Julian Lewis. He's ready to go after yesterday. He's like, okay, I got to bring it. Hey, I'd like to thank I already said that, Mr. Bree Clemens. Can we give Mr. Bree Clemens a hand? Because without him, we cannot do what we do. Superstar Miss Castro is going to be doing our training this coming Sunday night at 6. Sunday night at 6. And it's going to be on passion and perseverance. I can't wait to hear that young lady go. We also want to thank Mr. Winston Herbert. Thank you so much. Ms. Rose Guerrero King, thank you for joining. Miss Patricia and Frank Bowman in Elk Grove, California, thank you so much for joining in as well. Wow, Lisa, thank you so much. Mr. Regional Director, Mr. Marvin Carter in Fresno, California, IA. Oh, look at Mr. Robinson. Oh, yeah, look at you, dude. Congratulations. Thank you for joining. TJ in Ohio, thank you for joining. Wow. Miss Tracy Gilmore, did we give a shout out to her? I think we did, but anyway, thank you so much, Miss Gilmore. Mr. David Wright, thank you so much. Oh, guys, look at Mr. Swan, Ryan Swan up there in Sacramento, California. Miss Evelyn Muskie for the Bakery Organization. Miss Perry, Bakery Organization. Mr. Grossman, man, that golf wing Tesla is amazing. I tell you what, man, that's amazing. Thank you so much for joining. Miss, who else we got? Mr. Fernando, thank you so much for joining. Mr. Curtis Evans, Regional Director out in the South Carolina area, thank you for joining us. Mr. Ed Navarro, thank you so much for joining us as well. My Lord, you guys are ready for the day's call. Well, let me introduce this young man. This young man, I had to sit here and write a script out earlier this morning about this young man who's going to be doing our meeting today. Well, first time I saw him, I told him his mentor in his penthouse in San Diego. Yeah, first time I met this guy was in a penthouse in San Diego overlooking the ballpark. Yeah, we could watch the ball game without even leaving the penthouse. That's how bad this penthouse was. So the first time I met this young man, he was in his mentor's penthouse. I didn't stutter. You heard me? Oh, let me go back here. I'm getting thrown off. All those folks trying to get in here. And we got 5 more Amway people just jumped on. Okay, that's good because they want a good opportunity. Okay, there we go. Hold on. Let me get back over here. Okay, there we go. And oh shoot, hold on. God dang it. I'm just so bombarded with all these beautiful people today. So anyway, the first time I met him, he was in his mentor's penthouse in San Diego. And I told his mentor, this young man is special. Yes, this young man is special. I'm going to let him tell you how many years ago that was, okay? I'm not going to tell you, but I hope he tells you how many more years ago that was, okay? He's a stay-at-home father who I've got a great respect for men that stay home, would take care of their kids. I have nothing but deep respect for. Being a single father is, yeah, okay. His stay-home father who's a mentor to his wonderful daughter who's amazing grades, a wonderful young lady. And number 4, He's very strong. He's a very strong and gifted leader. A very strong and what gifted leader in the San Diego area. Mm-hmm. He has one of the fastest growing teams in all of San Diego. And without further ado, oh my God, I keep getting knocked off here. Without further ado, the one, the only, a couple, the one, Mr. Julian Lewis.
Mr. Thomas, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. All these people jumping on. I'm trying. They keep knocking me off the. They keep knocking my picture off here because all these people are jumping in, jumping in, jumping in. I'm doing fantastic, sir. Look, like mine, stick alike. Look at the color. Oh my God.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's a pleasure to see you. Always, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you as well. I have it on grid so I can see everyone. Natasha, I see you. You did amazing. I just had to say that first before I get started. You did incredible yesterday, and I know you poured into me, my team, and I appreciate you. Mr. Thomas, every single day we have a chance to talk. It's incredible. I always get some more insight from you, and I appreciate everything you do. And ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that get to work with Mr. Thomas personally, I need you to understand something. He is a senior vice president. He's been at the top of 2 companies, and I know you know this, but because Mr. Thomas is so down to earth and easy to talk to, sometimes if you're working closely with him, you can take him for granted. You forget that in just a simple conversation that sounds like he's just talking with you, there are several things to take from those conversations that can change not just your life, but many, many different people's lives. So you really want to pay attention, and then do yourself a favor. Sometimes just take a step back, get perspective. I remember Mr. Thomas, my mentor, he shared this with me a long time ago. He said, sometimes you don't know how amazing your parents are until you go to your friend's house. And so all I gotta say is this: you just have to know Mr. Thomas is amazing. I appreciate his authenticity. I appreciate the way he knows every single person on this call, and it just shares with you where his heart is. And I love you to death. I appreciate you, sir. So thank you for everything you do for me, my family, and our team and the organization and ACN as a whole. And ladies and gentlemen, 14 years. I remember being over 14 years ago, being in the penthouse. I was blown away. I need you to, so Mr. Thomas wanted me to tell you the story. My mentor, so he became a multimillionaire, one of the youngest multimillionaires. So crazy. It was documented. So I can actually talk about this. It was documented. It's all over the web. He was young when, you guys remember MTV Cribs?
Yep.
They did a video before these things. They had a video crew follow him around, MTV Cribs style, to see the life, the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris. And when I met him, he lived on top of a hotel in San Diego, California. And this hotel, most people just thought it was the old hotel. It's called the Omni Hotel. Okay, but the 22nd floor and higher were penthouse condominiums. Okay, and he was the only African-American man that lived in that community, and he was the youngest person that lived in that property. If I told you the mortgage per month, I promise you wouldn't believe me. What he paid in a mortgage per month at that property, 90%, and I'm not exaggerating, did not make or earn per year. I want that to resonate. Let that sink in for a second. I see some of you getting it. I know it's like a slow burn. It's just some of you getting it right now. All right. So I was blown away. My mentor says, Julian, if you do a few things, I know you're new, you can get to this special leadership training that we're doing. He said, with my mentor, he said, my mentor is an individual who's helped 18 people under the age of 30 to become multimillionaires. I was freaking out. I wanted to get home to my daughter. I knew this was the way. I knew my job, working 80 to 90 hours a week, wasn't going to cut it. I was making a great salary, $115,000 a year, but it wasn't going to cut it because I was working, traveling all over the place. And so I was hungry, and I did everything I needed to do. And I was the newest person in that penthouse because I fought to be able to see Mr. Thomas. And Mr. Thomas, my mentor, had a whiteboard up, and the whiteboard, behind the whiteboard, you could see the water. You could see all of San Diego Bay. And it was a beautiful sight. He went up there and he drew on the whiteboard and he talked about a daily method of operation. Okay. And because of that, I'm going to be talking a little bit, ironically, about a daily method of operation. All right. And this is really important, especially during stay-at-home orders and especially during everything that we're going through. So here's what happened. He taught the daily method of operation. I decided to implement it because I felt like, how many of you have ever felt like in your business, you're just all over the place? And it feels like you just can't get any traction. Has that ever happened to any of you? You're all over the place. So I fought to get in there, but I was all over the place. And so he said, do these few things every single day, and you're going to create results. And it was so simple, but I listened. And I'm going to talk to you about a few of those things today because I'm very excited. And if you realize how simple it is, you can build a system of results. Okay. So fast forward, I've been home for 14 years. My daughter's 14 and a half. I'm so grateful. People always tell me you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. You'll see pictures of my daughter on there. And the first thing they'll say, friends will say, Mr. Thomas, she is so beautiful. Do you have your shotgun ready? And you know what I say? Mr. Thomas, I've been home with her, pouring into her the things that you've taught me and the things that I've learned in ACN so much. I'm afraid for the guys. Because the things I hear out of her mouth, how sharp she is, she gets it. And men, if you have daughters, here's what I need you to know. You need to bust your tail to get home in ACN. Because kids look at love as time spent, not money spent, until about teenagers. And then it's a mix between money and time spent, right? But what I need you to know is they're going to know what true love is from the first man in their life. And that's so important because when they are adults, they'll look at what a man is doing and they'll know what love isn't based on your example of what love is. So that should be very scary if you really think about that. But it's because of the time spent at home. And so are you guys ready for the training? Because we're going to get right into this, and I'm very excited for you guys. All right. So we're going to talk about something extremely important. It's called time. I need you to write that down. Time, T-I-M-E. You guys ready? So time is something that is extremely important. You can't make up time. Once time is spent, it's spent. You can't save time. You can be more efficient in the use of your time, but you can't save it. Every single day, it's ticking. My father he passed in 2018 in September from pancreatic cancer. I love him to death. You know what he used to tell me? I remember as an adult, it finally got to me. It freaked me out. He said, the average man and woman has only about 80 summers at best. I need you to write that down. The average man or woman only has about 80 summers at best. And as an adult, I think about the 14 summers that went by like that with my daughter. Time is more valuable than you think it is. I want you to think about your favorite dessert or your favorite food. When you know your favorite food You're at the end, the last two. You might be even like me. I'll tell you this in a sec, but the last bite or the last few bites of your favorite food. Patricia, I want to know what you guys are laughing at later. So at your favorite food, how do you eat that last bite? Do you close your eyes? Do you eat it slowly? Do you smile while you're eating it? Do you take your time? The reason why I'm saying that is because you appreciate it because you know it's about to be what? Over. See, the things we appreciate, we know are about to be over. I want you to think about most elderly. If they're on their deathbed, they're running out of what? Time. And if you were to ask most of the elderly what they regret the most about their lives, they regretted not taking enough what? You got it. They didn't take enough. They didn't take enough risks. They didn't take enough chances. And they don't realize that until they're elderly. But you know what's really funny? They knew it when they were infants. See, the elderly and the infants have so much in common. See, infants, I remember my daughter like yesterday, she would not go to sleep. If any of you parents have babies that didn't go to sleep, my daughter was up every 2 hours. Her mother and I were like zombies. Every 2 hours, like clockwork, she was up and she was into something. We were scared to death for her to crawl, because the moment she crawled, our lives were going to be, you know what? She was into everything, wanted to see, wanted to taste, wanted to touch. Because when we're new, we have an instinct that we don't have a lot of time. See, but then we start learning from adults that tell us we have our whole life in front of us and that we have a lot of time. And we start to get lulled into that, believing the illusion that we have all the time in the world. But the reality is, tomorrow isn't promised. Tomorrow isn't promised. See, I remember I shared this story a long time ago. I remember I was in the pool. It was about 5-6 years ago. And the kids had just gone back to school. It was in the fall. But in San Diego, it was right after the holiday in September. What was that, Labor Day? Right after Labor Day. And all the kids were supposed to be back in school. It was extremely hot in San Diego. And I decided I was going to read a book by the pool since all the kids were gone. There wasn't going to be any screaming, any splashing, none of that. And so I was excited. Get to the pool, it's comfortable. All of a sudden, I hear noise. Not just any noise, I hear kids. And the kids are coming. I'm like, what are the kids doing here? They're supposed to be in school. What is wrong with their parents? Who's letting their kids in the pool? So I start being nosy. I'm looking to see who's running, and I hear flip-flops. You know the sound of flip-flops coming. And there were 3 boys that came into the pool. You could see one of them was older. He was a little husky. He was a heavier set boy. The other 2 were younger, and they were so excited. They ran in first with the heavier one coming up behind them. They kicked off their flip-flops. They threw their towel down. They ran. They jumped, cannonball. They jumped into the pool, splash, splash. And I was watching them because the pool water wasn't heated. I didn't want to get splashed. I didn't want to get upset. So I was watching where they were jumping in the pool. But then I watched the other kid, and it was interesting what he started to do. I watched the other kid, and the other kid, he walked over to the beach chair. He neatly put his towel down. He folded it. He put it down. He took his goggles that were on top of his head, and he lowered them, and he made sure the suction was good. And he put his flip-flops. He took his flip-flops off and put them on the side of the chair. And then he walked over near me. And I'm like, why is he all the way over here? He walked over near me and he was going to jump in the pool. And I watched him. And I'm watching him getting ready to jump into the pool. And then he made a mistake. He took his toe and he dipped it in the pool. And then all of a sudden he said, ooh. And I said, oh no, he caught it. He's not jumping in now, right? And I'm watching him do this. I'm watching him. And so his brother and his cousin, I find out his brother and his cousin, they're in the pool. And the whole reason they're in the pool is because the cousin was there for the summer. And even though the two boys had to go back to school, the cousin was going to be leaving, flying back. So it was their last chance to be in the pool with their cousin, right? So that's why they were there. It made sense. And so the cousin and the little brother start splashing. And he said, get in the pool. Why are you wasting time? Why are you wasting time? And he said, I'm trying to. It's cold. And so he goes over to the stairs. He goes over to the stairs and he decides he's going to slow walk into the pool so he can get used to the cold. And so he's walking. I'm watching him do this. It's hilarious. He's walking at every step. He's, ooh, ooh. And then by the time he gets right before, around his waist area, all I can say is, men, you know the area that I'm talking about. He was right there and he realized he couldn't go a step further. It wasn't going to happen. It was too cold for that region. Okay, so he decides, he changes his mind. He gets back out of the pool and they're like, what are you doing? Get in the pool. He decides, you know what? He gets upset. How many of you have ever gotten frustrated because you know what you want to do, but it just seems like you can't push yourself to do it? You know what you want to do. You know that you want to have fun, so he's frustrated. He decides, you know what? That's it. I'm jumping in. He goes over to the edge of the pool. He goes to jump in. He stops last minute, almost falls in the pool. I'm watching this madness, trying not to laugh because they're kids. He's been doing this for about 10 minutes. Finally, he jumps in the pool. And he's having fun with the kids. He's splashing. He forgot all about all of that nonsense that he did for 10 hours. For 10 minutes. He's having fun with his family. And this is so messed up. So 30 minutes into them being in the pool, I see a man come over and he's like, come on, boys, we got to go. Sorry, but we got to go, right? So they've only been in the pool for 30 minutes. And I'm like, wow. I remember being in the pool. Every summer, we used to beg for more time. 2-3 hours. We could be in there looking like a shriveled up raisin and ashy. For those of you that don't know what ashy is, ask one of your black friends. They will explain what that means. But they were upset that they had to leave. They were upset. But then I thought about what the oldest boy did. He was hemming and hawing, going back and forth, trying to figure out how he was going to be able to deal with the pain of the cold water. It took him 10 minutes to figure out how to deal with the pain that would have only taken his body a fraction of a second to deal with. He wasted time. And here's what the problem with that situation. He wasted a third of the time he could have been spending enjoying his family that was going to fly out later on that day. In other words, see, a lot of us don't realize this. 30 minutes into the swim, his father came and called them home. And the reason why I'm saying this is because he had no idea that his father was going to pop up over the gate and say, come on, guys, after 30 minutes in. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because you right now on this call, me included, we don't know when our father is going to call us home. and you're wasting time. Because I said in the beginning, see, tomorrow isn't promised. Another 10 minutes in the pool wasn't promised. So you have to be really intentional with your time. And the way that you're intentional with your time, especially in a situation that we're in today, see, I posted pictures. I know Mr. Thomas is gonna be like, for real. It wasn't business, Mr. Thomas. I posted these pictures on Facebook, but it was about my journey with nutrition and fitness. And I had friends reach out to me and say, man, I wish I had your focus, but I can't seem to find the time. I'm going to share with you how you find it. You have to get intentional. See, you have to have a daily method of operation that yields you a result. Some people go and chase after a goal. And from the outside looking in, if two people hit the same dollar amount, you'll think they did the same things. But one guy hits it cool, calm, and collected, and the other guy hits it like he can't do it again if he's asked. See, Mr. Thomas was able to get to the top of one company and do it again in another company. And he doesn't look like if you asked him to do it again, he couldn't. I promise you, he loves ACN. But come hell or high water, if he had to do it again because of circumstances that aren't under his control, I promise you, Mr. Thomas could do it again. Why? Because he's not just running at the goal all over the place. He has a systematic approach that allows him to create habits. And these habits that he does every single day, even without having to think about it, creates that result every single time. So the daily method of operation that he taught were the habits that he created, that he does every single day, no matter what, that will ultimately yield you the result. So my question to you is, are you creating habits? Some people don't believe that they can. They're simple habits, but you have habits. See, we have good habits, we have bad habits. The only way you can't get rid of the bad habits by wishing them away, you have to add good habits. It's like having this coffee that I have in my cup. The only way, if I want to get rid of the coffee, I can pour this water, and if you look at it, it'll look like clear coffee. But if I keep pouring more and more and more water in there, all of a sudden you don't see the black anymore, it's clear. See, you get rid of habits the same way. You got to keep pouring in good and good and good and good, and all of a sudden the good outweighs the bad, and those habits follow you in your life. And here's what most people don't realize: the habits you create over time become who you are, because your habits become your character. And your character attracts what you get in your life. So the reason why my physique looks the way it does during quarantine is because quarantine has nothing to do with my physique. My physique has to do with my habits. My habits have to do with a day-to-day operation that I was taught by my mentor, Mr. Thomas. So if I want to get results every single day at my workout, you know what I do? I wake up early in the morning and I do a workout. I hate working out. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like it. It's painful. But you know what I do like? I like beating my mind. Isn't it funny how the only thing we have control over in our world is us? And most people are out of control even with that. See, if the only thing you can control is you, and you decide to let that go as well, then you're living out of control. You can't do anything with your time. That's the reason why you'll wake up at older age wishing you had more time. You wake up from autopilot. If you've ever thought that 3, 4, 5, 10 years go by like that, it's because you're on autopilot. Kids think the summer takes forever because they're living in the moment. See, you got to get out of autopilot, be in the moment, create the habit, Be okay with the pain. Like I said last time, negotiate terms with your mind and say, I'm going to do it. Because if you do it over time, you create the habit, and then you get excited about being able to win the game that your mind is trying to play. See, this is all a mind game. Everything that you get in the physical realm is a result of what's projected from you gaining control of your mind or losing control of it. We see a lot of people in the media right now losing control over their mind. And I know that I can see that, and it looks like craziness to me because I spent 14 years gaining control of mine. Listen, pick simple habits. Who brushes their teeth every single day? Good. I didn't see some of you raise your hand. I will not be speaking closely to you anytime soon. Who takes a shower every single day? Who makes their bed every single day? All right. You've learned habits. You've showed yourself that you can create habits. So I take ACN, and we've created a lot of momentum recently. I take ACN just like I take my workout. In the morning, I send out 10 videos, no matter what. We send out the 10-minute Tony Cooper's video. Why? I get it done in the beginning of the day. I spend 45 minutes, and I'm gonna leave you with a method of operation that I started using years ago. 45 minutes on, 15-minute break. 45 minutes on, 15-minute break. You can look at Brendan Bouchard. He's a productivity expert. He helped Lowe's. This is so interesting. He helped Lowe's way back in the day when there was a downturn, 2008, to not go out of business. When Circuit City went out of business, yes, Natasha has his book right there. When Circuit City went out of business, the reason why Best Buy didn't go out of business is because they had Brendan Bouchard as their productivity expert, showing them how to be efficient with their time. And as an entrepreneur, he built a method of operation so that you and I can be efficient. Now, the reason why it's 45 minutes, 15-minute break is because science has proven that if you try to concentrate on one thing for more than 45 minutes, you lose the effectiveness. So after 45 minutes of focus, take a 15-minute break. What I do is I walk king. I don't think about anything in ACN. I focus on my daughter, my dog, and just purge. And you know what that does? It's just like working out. When you work out, you have a work-rest relationship. You go hard for a certain amount of time. I do work as I don't lift weights. I do high intensity interval training. So you go hard as you can, and then you break, you completely stop. That's what I do in business. So what you do is concentrate. The second thing you want to do, you want to have a countdown timer, and you want to have it posted up. See, I have all these devices on purpose. You guys think of, so I got this guy right here. I'm on the iPad. I got this phone. I got this phone. I do this stuff not because the technology, because it allows me to do certain things like countdown timers. I can have two countdown timers running. So 45-minute countdown timer. You need to see it. Post it up somewhere where you can see the time ticking. So you know you don't have all the time in the world. This is important. All right. So you countdown timer 45 minutes. Now I do what's called the 3 Ps productivity sheet. You draw on top, and I'll post it for you guys. I'll send it to Mr. Thomas if you guys want it, or Natasha. But the 3 Ps productivity sheet is at the top of your page are projects. So you slice it in 3. Okay, the top of your page is projects. The middle of your page are people. And the bottom of your page are priorities. The projects are the things you want to get done this quarter. So getting RD done, getting 200 points done, etc. The people are people that you need to reach out to in order to keep the project moving forward. Okay? And the priorities are the things you focus on, those 45-minute increments. So you can ask people in my team, when we used to register for the international, if my priority in that 45 minutes said register 5 people for the international, every single IBO I'm calling, I'm not talking about qualifications, I'm not talking about PBRs, I'm talking about the international. Hey, let's talk about the international. I see you're not registered. And here's what happens. Repetition is the mother of learning. See, when you focus on one thing and you do it repeatedly, all of a sudden you start to get great at the conversation. See, I remember the first conference call my mentor got me on, and I was scared to death. I said, I don't want to mess up their money. It wasn't even on video. You couldn't see my face, but I thought in my mind, I would see all of their ears listening to every single word, and I was scared to death. But he said, repetition is the mother of learning. You do it over and over again, you get good. It's the same with this. So you focus on one of those priorities until it's completed. So if it's sending out 10 videos, you do 10 videos. Don't go on to the next one or the next one. See, we think multitasking works. Science has proven that it doesn't. Our brains can't multitask. In fact, when you attempt to multitask, you drop, listen to this, science has proven, you drop your IQ lower. You drop your IQ 10 points when you attempt to multitask. To give you perspective, dropping your IQ 10 points, they found the strongest marijuana drops your IQ less than that in that moment. So dropping your IQ 10 points from multitasking. So you want to stay focused. All right, the next thing. Take a 15-minute break when the countdown timer says it, and then repeat. See, if you do that for 90 minutes a day, if you're full-time, you will crush every production number you've ever had. If you do it for 45 minutes a day on a part-time basis, you will crush every single production number you have. And I recommend doing it every single day because it'll become a habit. You'll wake up and do it every single day. And so by habit, you create a system that gets you results. What things would you plug into? Sending 10 videos out, qualifying people. Everyone in my team knows we get everyone. Today is drop dead date. Tuesday is drop dead date. Why? Because everything needed to pay out for all of your new people is Wednesday. Everything needs to be show up by Wednesday, qualified, so that ACN will pay it out to your people this Friday. So if you don't know that and you're running a business, how are you running a business? So you want to make sure to get yourself focused on the right things. And the easiest way to do it is build systems. So if every single week your system is to get people qualified by that time, you know who it is because you have it on the 45 minutes countdown. You're going to get results systematically, and you're going to create something that has scalability. And when you can duplicate that, then all of us can realize a position called Senior Vice President. And so I'm so excited about that. Guys, anything you need from me as far as resources or the productivity sheet or anything, all you have to do is let me know, reach out to me, Mr. Thomas, anything if you want, I have it. But those are what I do on a day-to-day that keeps me focused, no matter if we're in a quarantine or matter if we're in regular day-to-day. It has nothing to do with what the world is doing. My mentor used to always say, the world is going to keep worlding. You got to figure out what you're going to do. So I appreciate you. I hope you guys got some value out of that. And Mr. Thomas, I'll turn it over to you.
Wow. Whew. My God. That was a lot. I need it, please. You know what we'll do? Send it to me and we'll post it. We'll post it up on the channel. So just send it to me, Mr. Lewis. So we'll post all this up on the channel.
Cool.
Folks, wow. Can we show Mr. Julian Lewis some love? My God, he had blessed. Man, he went above and beyond the Call of Duty with this one. This one was amazing. I got 5 pages of notes over here. I don't know about the rest of you. Wow, so true. Look at all the comments we got. The world is going to keep world. There you go. You know, there you go, Miss Perry. Thank you so much. Miss Christina, thank you so much. Wow, look at all the love. Look at all the posts. My goodness, this is amazing. I love the story about the boys in the pool, the 3 boys. Wow, for those that never heard it, that I mean, whew. And what I'd like to do real quick, Mr. Winston, thank you so much, back to back. Thank you so much, Miss Patricia Bowman. Thank you so much for all your comments. Oh, Mr. Grossman, thank you for your love. Thank you, sir. Golly, look at the command. This was, man, I don't know if you can out-top Harry Tubman, but boy, howdy, look here. And to love yourself, and to love yourself. See, I already remember the topics. You stole your story so well that I can remember the topics and the stories along with it. So thank you, sir, for being such a great storyteller and bringing life to the conversation. Mr. Anthony Quinn, thank you so much. Japan over there, look at that. Okay, Ms. Kanohara, thank you. I want to thank you, sir. And really quickly, we're going to post up the channel. I asked Mr. Bree Clemens to post the channel up real quick. We'll have it posted on the channel. This message will also be posted on the channel. So I think he's getting it up. I don't know. A minute ago. If he can get the channel. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on here.
He's working on it.
If he can get the channel put up, and everybody can go back and re-listen to these messages. Yesterday, Ms. Ismail dropped the mic. There it is. There's our channel. There's our YouTube channel. Get on there. All the messages from Miss Jocelyn Driscoll to Mr. Carey, Miss Carey Roeder to myself, Mr. Jordan Say, all the leaders. We post them all on the site there. So make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Get it. Destiny International, subscribe. All the training we've done, all the training is on there. So you could go back and listen to Harry Tubman's story. You go back and listen to Love Yourself by Mr. Julian Lewis. You can go back today, and subject matter today was what? What was it called? Time. See, he's got a subject with bullet points. Time is precious, and no one is promised tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Dwayne. That's so true. So the question is, what are you going to do in the next 24 hours to change your situation? You know, Mr. Julian Lewis has been home with 14 and a half years with his daughter, and I have so much respect for any man that could sit home and raise a child, because it's not easy. Guys, so many times we think it's the wife's responsibility. No, men, we need to step up, be men, and take on that responsibility as well, to be that man, be that father, pour it, because every child need their dad and mother. So we need to be able to be what, yeah, thank you. You know, you posted it, sir, thank you. So we all need to be responsible for a child. Anybody can have a baby, but it takes a man and a woman to raise a child, as it says, a village. And we all are a village, because we're a village at ACN, helping each other climb the ladder of success. No affiliation, who's the organization, but we're here to make sure everybody has a better life to turn around and bless their family with. See, with a closed hand, you can't give or receive. The more you open it, the more you be able to bless. And that's what Mr. Julian Lewis talked about today, was time. Wow, 80 summers. You know, I said a story, you used to have 8, you know, we have a child, we think you have a child a long time. And I always say, a friend of mine told me, you know, you only have a child for 18 summers, and they're gone. And that seems like a long time, but they go by very fast. And I'm glad he brought that to my remembrance again today. You know, you must have real intentions with your time. Be on time with have intentions with your time. So anyway, thank you, Mr. Julian Lewis. Mr. Natasha, I got her on my screen, not you. So there we go. Hey, hold that book up one more time, Ms. Ismail. Hold that book up one more time. See, I got 8, 14, 16 books on my desk. High Performance Habits, New York bestseller, New York Times bestseller. Bring it back a little bit. Just bring it back a little bit. Right there. There's the author right there, Mr. Bouchard. There you go. You know, how extraordinary people become that way. And I advise all of you to get that book, because leaders are readers. I mean, I ain't got time to read. That's why you're not a leader. Leaders are readers, and you can also get it on get it audio as well. So once again, tomorrow morning we'll be blessed with Mr. Oren Solomon. regional vice president, senior COC member for many, many years, overrides 90% of all of Europe, not some of Europe, but all of Europe. And then on Thursday, we got the Chicago Mob will be on. The Chicago Mob will be on with us on Thursday. So make sure you wear bulletproof. Anyway, Chicago Mob. And then on Friday, we got the great Mr. Nathan Goldberg. We'll be returning for part 2, back-to-back on Fridays for us, Mr. Nathan Goldberg. Folks, we got a great call lineup this weekend as well. But anyway, tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll be back tonight. I'll be introducing Miss Castro. She will be doing the 1 through 10 tonight. So get guests that need a second look, third look, fourth look, fifth look. But get them on tonight at 6 o'clock p.m. And I'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock p.m. Be safe. If you need me, I'm around. God bless you. And don't forget tomorrow morning with the great Mr. Oren Solomon. Can we give Mr. Julian Lewis one more round for that? Man, them 3 boys in the pool. Story after story after story. My God, there was so much in this. Thank you so much, sir. We thank you. Like I told Mr. Your upline, your mentor, he's going to be one to watch. And sure enough, you proved it right. You are the one to watch.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you for all you did today. Thank you for all the lives you touched today. You are a very special young man. God bless you all. Have a good day.